Hello there, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Clarissa and I put out new pick a card readings. Sometimes I'll do a tarot collective reading once a week. And as you can tell by the title of this week's video, we are going to be looking at what urgent messages your spirit guides have for you. What does your spiritual team need you to know? What do you need to hear right now? What's important for you? So that's what we're going to be looking at. I have three different piles that you'll be able to choose from this week, and they're going to be, differentiated by the different tarot decks that I'll be using for your pile. So for group number one, we have the Everyday Witch Tarot. And then for group number two, we have the Light Seers Tarot. And for group number three, we have the Modern Witch Tarot. So I'm going to give you guys a moment, or you may want to take a moment now to pause the video and decide which pile you are the most drawn to, which deck you're the most drawn to. I don't think it would be wrong this week for you guys to pick more than one pile, as there may be multiple messages that your spirit guides have for you. So do whatever feels best to you. If you want to listen to the whole reading or like the whole video, cool. If you want to listen to one reading, two readings, whatever works for you. But you can go ahead if you need to now and pause the video to decide which pile, which tarot deck you are the most drawn to. And then you can go to the description box down below, and there will be timestamps for each individual group for the readings that you can then just go directly to. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this should be pretty interesting, and I hope that you guys are able to receive the messages you need today and that they resonate for you. I will see you guys shortly in your reading. Thanks for joining me. Hi there, group number one. As a reminder, if you chose the Everyday Witch Tarot deck, then this is your reading this week in regard to what messages your spirit team has for you. You may hear my dog snoring in the background throughout the duration of your video. My apologies. I'm hoping that it doesn't overpower my audio. So I'm doing my best to have the microphone like right next to me, but you may hear him snoring in the background. I will pause if it gets like really, really loud. But anyway, you guys got this week the Four of Wands, the Empress, the Emperor, and the King of Wands. And then we also have for you an additional card that I shuffled for when I was laying out your pile to get like additional messages from Spirit, or like a clarifying message from Spirit regarding your reading. So you guys got receive. We are taught to give more, open more, share more, be more, but to receive takes courage. For receiving is a subtle subconscious act of admitting that we cannot do it all, and we can't. And if we were to realize the very art of giving is perfected in the craft of receiving. Oh, excuse me, let me go back and read that. What if we were to realize the very act of giving is perfected in the craft of receiving? What if the secret to giving more is to allow yourself to fully, wholeheartedly, and unapologetically receive? So that was the additional message that we got for you guys. We're going to go ahead and get into your tarot here, and then I do have some oracle card decks as well. I think I have three here that we'll get into once we've gone into your tarot. So I think it's very interesting that you got receive, and then the cards that drew me in the most at first were the Empress and the Emperor, because they really do represent like almost like the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, if that makes sense. And I'm getting this feeling that a lot of you guys have had to take on like very important roles and like care for people. Maybe since you were younger, like I could definitely see you guys being like older children, or even like in certain family dynamics where maybe you were like a younger sibling, but because like maybe your siblings were so much older than you, you had to take on the role of like almost a second parent to like nieces and nephews even. But I'm feeling like you have this streak of being like very hyper independent and like being very stuck in this masculine energy of like go, 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 push, 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 hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind. And I think that spirit is really wanting you to slow down a little bit, take a breath, and allow yourself to actually like get in the mode to receive the things that maybe you've been working toward. Because especially with the Emperor coming out here, I really do feel like you make a lot of the decisions, you have a lot of say in a lot of different areas of your life. And while I think that's great and beautiful and wonderful, I get the feeling that maybe you're trying to like build a life with somebody else, or maybe you have like recently moved in with a partner or like a roommate or whatever, and you're having a lot of difficulty like relinquishing control of decisions, even when it comes to like the household and how things are run. But just like making decisions in general, I feel like you have very strong like leadership energy, and you always just kind of make decisions for yourself and other people, without maybe even realizing that you're making them for others, but like you're making these decisions that then have this impact on other people. So like for instance, let's say that you were moving in with like a significant other, with like a boyfriend or girlfriend, like you were moving into an apartment together. Let's say though that you like didn't ask them at all when it came to like furnishing the apartment, like, you know, what kind of couch you were going to get, what kind of like TV stand you were going to get, like what kind of bed and like what size you were wanting, even like color schematics of like the rooms that you're in. Like maybe you wanted the bedroom to be very like dark, but your partner wanted it to be more light, but you didn't really take their wants into consideration. You kind of just did it without even asking, if that makes sense. Because I think that again, you're just so used to like making decisions and doing things the way that like you want them, that I think spirit is really asking you to like step out of that role for a minute and allow yourself to collaborate with others more. Especially with like the King of Wands coming up here. I feel like there's a lot of things that you're very passionate about. There's a lot of things that you're very good at. And even like decorating a space could be one of those things. And it's important that we also like consider other people's opinions and thoughts and feelings, when it comes to like creating a space or a home, or, you know, whatever it may be. I was just kind of really feeling like this has to do with like a home or a space or like cohabitation because of the Four of Wands coming up here, but this can also like represent other things as well. And like especially the way that it's depicted in this deck, it gives that feeling of like collaboration, of coming together and like honoring everyone's abilities and thoughts and like capabilities, and you know, playing your role and like doing your part, but not allowing yourself to be overshadowed or to overshadow other people and like what they're good at as well, if that makes sense. And then with the Empress coming up here, I really feel like this is playing into this message that we got of receiving as well, because the Empress is, I especially in like the way that it's being represented in this reading, I feel like she's really representing like femininity and the divine feminine, and really allowing ourselves to take a step back, you know, not needing to control everything, not needing to be the one that makes all of the decisions, and literally just allowing ourselves to kind of flow and be, and to receive the things that maybe we've been chasing after. This could even have to do with like career and like stability within your career, and you know, just allowing yourself the opportunity to actually like receive the things that you're needing. Maybe you've been like really struggling to make ends meet for a while. Maybe you're living in a situation, or like maybe you're living in a home or an apartment or whatever, where you've been struggling to like make ends meet with your current job. So maybe you've been, you know, doing all of these extra like things, you've been hustling on the side. Maybe you're doing like different odd jobs here and there to make extra money. And while I don't think there's anything wrong with that, I think that ultimately your guides are saying here, like, there are better ways to do things. Maybe by you constantly working and pushing and not allowing yourself time to like relax and think things through, you're not seeing that there are other like job opportunities available to you, or other ways in which you could make money where you're not like busting your ass all of the time, if that makes sense. So like maybe for instance, because you don't give yourself the time to rest and like scroll through job postings, maybe you're missing something that is similar to like what you're currently doing in your like regular day-to-day job, that would actually like pay you more for the experience that you have at like your current company or current job. But yeah, I think that ultimately, like, you need to allow yourself to, like, receive and collaborate with others more, receive other people's ideas, and actually, like, asking for other people's ideas and input, when it comes to, like, making decisions that will affect people that aren't just you. And then also, you know, I think it's going to be important for you to step out of, like, this heavily... Excuse me. I'm feeling like very much like heavy capitalistic, like hustle grind culture mentality, and just like allowing yourself time to rest, and you're allowing yourself time to be and like get better in like to a state of like creativity and flow, because that may be something that maybe you've been missing in your life as well, and that would be helpful for you when it comes to like the next part of your life and looking for like other careers or opportunities that are available to you. But irregardless, you know, it's also, I feel like another message that is coming through from spirit is that, again, maybe you're like just not really good at like accepting help from others, even if it's not financial, even if it's just like somebody helping you like cook or clean or do certain things around the home, or, you know, just allowing people to do nice things for you. You don't always have to constantly be the one giving of yourself to others. It's okay to just take a step back and allow yourself to receive help and aid from other people, because I do think that there are people in your life that like want to help you find your stability and your structure. And it's just like really important for you to actually allow those people in and allow them to help, and not have to control everything so much, to the point where you are burning yourself out, right? Because I think that is so interesting here, especially with the way the Four of Wands is depicted. You know, wands really talk about like our passion, our drive, our fire, like our life force. And it's very important for us to like be able to rely on others for help and assistance when needed, so we don't burn out that passion, that fire, that desire that we have to accomplish certain things, right? It's okay to allow other people to help you, to allow other people to love you, cherish you, celebrate you, allow you to be more in that feminine energy where you're receiving, you're more creative, you're more in like a flow state and not like working against yourself and others. I think that especially here too with the Emperor coming out, you know, we also have the King of Wands, who is technically like the ruler of the wands, right? And, you know, it's interesting too because we're seeing these represented by like two fire signs. The King of Wands obviously represents fire, and then we have the Emperor, who is represented by Aries. And I think that spirit is just saying like it's okay to be a leader and to be driven and to make like good decisions, but it's also okay to like ask other people for their input, and to know that like we're not always going to have the best answer, to hear other people out, and to continue pushing forward, but taking other people's opinions and other things into consideration. And like I said, you know, if this has to do with a partnership, you know, you want to listen to the things that your partner has to say as well, and not just be the one that's like controlling and domineering every situation that you guys are in together. And let's be real, like, you don't want to do that anyway. Like, you don't want to have to be the one that always has the final say, or, you know, that always has to make every decision. It can be very like exhausting to have to make every like major life decision, especially when you have a partner where you guys are like living together and you're creating a life together. You don't want to have to be the one that makes decisions about every aspect of that. So I feel like that's what's coming through for you guys here, group number 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of your oracle cards here as well to see if we can get any additional information or any additional messages that Spirit may have for you. And I also feel like something that I'm, hearing come through too is that it's like you're blocking your own abundance, your own happiness by needing to control all of the decisions and all of the outcomes and everything that's happening in your life, especially like when it comes to partnership. And it's just kind of like what I had briefly mentioned there at the end. Like, we don't want to be the ones always in charge of making every single decision, always in charge of, the finances or the housework or the whatever. Like, it's important to divide those things in a partnership, and it's important to recognize that we don't always have to be the ones in control of everything. Sorry about that, group number 1. I went ahead and paused your video real quick. It was getting a little noisy outside. There were like some kids walking by, like laughing and screaming. Excuse me. So let's get back into it here. We're just shuffling your oracle cards here. Oop. So we have work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. And let's see if we can get one more card here. And we also have a new romantic cycle begins. So I think with the new moon and Scorpio card coming out here, that it's really talking about, I think that there may be this fear for you guys that if you're not the one making decisions, if you're not the one in charge, that there won't be somebody. And I think that this may, like, again, circle back to childhood, and maybe we were given a more like adult role than we were supposed to have at a certain age. Like, maybe you were parentified by your parents and you had to take care of your siblings all the time. Or again, like I had mentioned, certain other family dynamics where maybe you were like the youngest sibling and all of your siblings were much older and they had kids, and you were expected to like look after and watch after their kids. And because of that, it like put you in this state where you were very much so having to like be responsible, be in charge, make decisions, be the leader. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think our problem here is that it's hard now for you to relinquish that level of control. And I think that you're being called at this point to work through like that programming and work through this fear that you have of maybe things being out of control, maybe things, happening that you weren't expecting, or, also like being out of control when it comes to making decisions that like should be made within a partnership. Especially like if this for you had to do with like relationships or even like friendships where you guys are roommates or whatever it may be. But I think that you're very fearful that when you're not in control of everything, that everything is just going to be a mess, or everything is not going to like work out picture perfectly. But it's okay if that ends up being the case. It's okay if things don't go exactly our way 100% of the time, right? Because that's just life. That's how things are. Even if you're the one in charge making the decisions, you can't say that like everything has gone perfectly smoothly without you having to like readjust and like plan for things differently. So I think that it's just Spirit's way of saying that it's time to kind of work through maybe some of this previous programming, and to understand that like you're not responsible for everything in the world, right? Like, it's not your responsibility to make all of the important decisions. It's not your responsibility to cook and clean and, you know, make sure that a home is spotless. It's not just on you if you're not living by yourself, right? And it's okay to rely on other people. And I think that it's interesting too that it was Scorpio that came out here, because the thing is that Scorpio can have like trust related issues, can have problems with trusting and depending on others, because it's like they almost always expect that somebody is going to disappoint them or hurt them or not be there for them, not follow through. And I think that it's important that we understand that it's okay if those things do happen as well. Like, we can't control how other people behave and respond in certain situations, and we can't control how other people treat us and how other people show up for us. So I think that that is really what Spirit's trying to say here for you guys. And then with a new romantic cycle begins, I think that this could actually be pointing to those of you that may be like starting to build a life with a partner, especially those of you that maybe like you're just now moving in with like your boyfriend or girlfriend that you've been with, or maybe like you had a relationship start up and you guys are deciding that you're wanting to like move forward living together, whatever it may be. This could even be pointing to, for some of you that maybe you're not currently in a relationship, but that these are really important things that you're going to have to start working through when it comes to like relinquishing control, and not always needing to be the one in charge in every situation, so that like future partnerships can be more balanced and more equal, and you feel like you can rely on that person to show up and like do the work that's needed around the home, in the relationship, and whatever else, like to allow you guys to grow and allow you guys to like build this life that's successful together. Let's take a look here at the second oracle deck to see what other information we can get from Spirit. I think I mentioned this at the beginning of your video. My animals are both in the room. Maybe I just mentioned Reggie, but Luna is in here too. She's napping, so hopefully we can keep her that way while we're finishing up this reading for you guys. Because it's like she likes to get up after her little cat naps and, you know, nibble on her food, and understandable. But she like nibbles one at a time very loudly. Okay, so we have Treasure Island for you guys. And then let's see if we can get one more card. And then we have Exchanging Gifts. Okay, so I think with Treasure Island coming up here, that, you know, essentially it's kind of also talking about the Four of Wands here, where by us like being more open to others' ideas, opinions, thoughts, by us collaborating more with others, it's really what is going to bring us like the happiness, the abundance that we're looking for in life. And I had mentioned that earlier too, that I think that you guys are almost blocking your own like joy, blocking your own abundance from coming in by like hyperfixating on like this independence and needing to control everything, and needing everything to be or like work out a certain way. Sorry, it's getting a little loud downstairs. So I feel like that's why Treasure Island is coming out, because it's almost like you're going to unlock this new level of like partnership and just like reliance of other people as well. And you know, I'm not saying that you have to rely on other people for everything, but it is okay to like trust other people and to believe that other people are going to do good by you and are going to help you. And it's very important, I feel like, for you guys to be able to do that in order to receive all of the things that you've been wanting in life. And then with Exchanging Gifts, I feel like, again, this is talking about that balance that we were just talking about with Libra, where by you bringing like what you have to offer to the table and allowing somebody else to do the same, and not needing to control or needing to, you know, be the master, the supreme leader, right? By accepting this balance, it's just going to bring like so much more into your life and allow you to like I had mentioned earlier, like not burn out. I think that is going to be like the biggest gift that you give to yourself by allowing other people in and allowing other people to help you. You're not going to get decision fatigue. You're not going to become overly exhausted all of the time. And you're not going to feel so like tightly wound where you feel almost like everything has to be perfect and you can't make a wrong move. So I think that by you allowing other people to help you, to assist you, it's almost like you're going to be so much more happy and like joyful for it, and the other person will feel very valued and appreciated, like their input matters, like what they have to say matters. And I think that you're just going to have this lovely balance between you guys of cooperation, collaboration, and just, you know, feeling valued and appreciated within your relationship. And then let's take a look here at the last deck that I have for you today. So any final messages, Spirit, for our group number ones? Oops. I think that it's like very, I don't know why, like I can't think of the word, but I think that it's like not surprising at all that health came out here. And then we also got safe travel. So if you are going to be like traveling anytime soon, I think that Spirit is just wanting to remind you that like you will be safe, you'll be taken care of, you'll be watched over during your travels. And also like I think that, let me just take a drink here real quick of water. My throat's really dry. I also think that this could be coming out as more of like a metaphorical sense, that Spirit understands that this isn't going to be like an easy journey for you, that it may be turbulent sometimes, it may be kind of scary, it may be hard to like tap into why is it that we feel like we must always be in charge, always be the leader, be very hyper independent, and like healing that. And that is a journey, that is a travel from like one part of like where you are now to like who you need to move into. And just know that like you're being guided, you're going to be safe, you're going to be okay, things are going to work out for you. And that it's just the most important that you focus on like healing that part of yourself. You focus on working through like these fears that you have of relinquishing control. But like I said, it could very like just be the literal meaning here, and it could just be like an additional message from Spirit that if you are going to be traveling anytime soon, that you are safe to travel and things are going to be okay for you to travel, especially if you're somebody that like is an anxious traveler, because I could see that if you're somebody that needs to have control over like situations and decisions, traveling can be kind of scary, like when you're flying or if you're in a boat or, you know, whatever it may be. In a boat, like you're gonna be traveling like in a little canoe or something. I mean, like on a cruise or whatever it may be. Even in the car, like you only have so much control over what happens in those things, right? And you may be like an anxious person anyway, and that may be something that scares you or frightens you a little bit, because you know that you don't have really a lot of control over what happens and you're relying on other people to get you to your destination safely. And just know that like it's okay, you can rely on those people, things will be all right, you're gonna like make it to your destination, okay? And then again, literally and metaphorically, like I had just talked about. And then with health coming up here, I think that that's another message that Spirit has for us. And again, like I said, it's not surprising to me that it's coming up. I think that by us always being very rigid about certain decisions, or like needing to have control, needing to be independent. It can be very stressful on us, right? Like I had mentioned before, with making decisions constantly, always having to be the one thinking out pros and cons, or, you know, thinking what would be best in the long term. That's a lot of mental fatigue that it puts on us, and it can really drive us into an unhealthy state of mind and like an unhealthy state of being, right? Because that worry can really manifest physically for us. That anxiety, the stress can really manifest physically for us and be a detriment to our health. And so I think this is coming out as a reminder that overall this is going to be like the best thing for you, and the thing that allows you to be in like your healthiest state of mind, your healthiest state of being. And like health is wealth, you know, like it's very important for us to take care of ourselves and for us to feel our best. And it's hard to do that when we're constantly worried about, you know, making decisions, wondering if they're the right decisions, instead of just allowing ourselves to rely on a partner or have a partner's help or input, or even like our friends. You know, it can be important to bounce ideas off of people and to get other people's input when it comes to making decisions. So I'm going to go ahead and leave your guys' reading here. Group number 1, I hope that this was helpful for you and that it resonated for you. If it did, please leave me a comment down below and letting me know. Give this video a like so that it can reach as many other people as possible that may need to hear this message. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I put out new pick a card readings, sometimes tarot collective readings once a week. I love you guys so much, and I really hope that you are able to do the healing that's needed so that you can healthily rely on other people and depend on other people, because I think that's just very important for our relationships overall. So anyway, I love you so much, and I hope to see you guys in a future reading. Bye. Hi there, group number 2. As a reminder, if you chose the Light Seers Tarot, then this is your reading this week in regard to messages that your spirit team has for you. So you guys got the 3 of Swords, Justice, the 7 of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. And then here in the middle, I also, like when I was laying out your cards, asked for an additional card or clarify or message or whatever from spirit that they were wanting to bring through. And so for you guys, we got resourcefulness. Everything you need is already within you. Don't doubt it, my love. You are more capable, more equipped, more looked after than you can ever imagine. What would you do today, right now, in this very moment, if you knew you could only succeed? There is no such thing as failure, dear one. You can only grow. You can only redirect. So forget about failure and ask yourself instead, how can you appreciate even more the resourceful being that you are? So with that message in mind, we'll go ahead and get into your tarot cards here. And then I do have 3 oracle decks that we'll look at as well after going through these. So, I just want to start off here with the 3 of Swords, and I also wanted to say too that I apologize if you can hear my French bulldog snoring in the background. I'm hoping that my audio will drown him out a little bit, but he's just like sleeping, and you know, he's a snorer, so there we are. And then my cat is in the room too. She's sleeping, so hopefully, you know, it's good. It doesn't get a whole lot louder than this. I have the mic like right next to me, so I'm like trying not to talk too loud to like pierce your ears, but enough to talk over him in the background. So anyway, the 3 of Swords here, I feel like that there's a couple of different things here, okay? So I feel like maybe some of you have gone through a breakup. Maybe some of you are just really hurting yourself, hurting your own feelings, holding yourself back, telling yourself like really mean, negative things about yourself and what you're capable of. Because clearly here with resourcefulness, Spirit thinks a lot of you and thinks that you're very capable of a lot. And you have the ability to look within yourself for answers and for guidance and for, you know, whatever it is that you're needing. But I think that, and there could even be people in your life that have hurt you and told you that you aren't smart enough, or you're not talented enough, or you're not whatever it is. And I just want you guys to know that Spirit does not think that of you at all. And that may be why it hurts so much when people say those things to you, because there's this part of you that knows that it's just not true. And please know that when people say hurtful things like that to you, it is a reflection of how they feel about themselves, and it has nothing to do with you. Unfortunately, some people are just, I feel like some people just are receptors of that kind of shit more than others, and I don't know why that is. I think that unfortunately sometimes people just hate that you are talented or happy or joyful, and whatever it is, people will find a reason to hate on you or tear you down. And know that you don't have to continue like thinking these things or living out these patterns. I think that maybe for a while now you've been beating yourself up about something, and I think that Spirit really wants you to know that things are going to get better, okay? We all go through periods of being very downtrodden, beating ourselves up about things, feeling like we are worthless, or that we are incapable of accomplishing what we want. And really here for you guys, I feel like the Three of Swords is almost referencing like how your thoughts and feelings have been affecting one another. For instance, you know, you could be having very negative thoughts about yourself because of the things that other people have told you or the things that you believe about yourself. And because of that, it's like you're really hurting your own feelings. You're putting yourself down in the dumps when in all reality, like, you're so capable of accomplishing and doing whatever it is you want, my group number twos. And don't forget that, like, you are so capable of that. And Spirit wants you to, that's why Spirit wants you to know how resourceful and how talented and how like magnificent you really are. So like, don't let these people, don't let yourself, like, don't let your brain trick you into thinking that you are less than what you are. Because Spirit, like your spirit guides, think very highly of you, and they really see you as this like beautiful, magnificent, multifaceted, talented being. So don't tell yourself that you're anything but that. And I know it can be really hard to get out of those cycles, but I think that it's really important for you to come to this place of acceptance with yourself and to have a better balance between the things that like positivity and like negativity almost, right? Like, if you're going to say something mean about yourself, I think it's going to be important for you to say like 3 nice things about yourself, right? And to think 3 like good positive things about yourself. I think that especially for you guys to get out of like this mindset that you're useless, you're worthless, you're incapable, or that you're like just not good enough, that it's going to be important for you to remind yourself of all the reasons why you are. But also, you know, this thought pattern, and like maybe even there were external things that happened that made you feel like this. Maybe you had a really bad breakup, or you feel like you're never going to find somebody again to love you for who you are. It's just not true, okay? And things are going to balance back out for you. You're going to come out of this darkness, and you're going to be able to smile again and be happy and be joyful. I know that it can seem like we're never going to dig ourselves out of the dark, but it's just not true, okay? Like, you are going to come to a better place again mentally, but I do think it's important for you to work on the thoughts that you allow to surface, and just like allowing them to be there and like marinating in them instead of questioning them, right? Like, when the thoughts come up about like, let's say for instance you like want to, I don't know, something silly, like you want to dance, you want to be like a dancer, you want to take like a dance class, and you're sitting there telling yourself like you have no rhythm, you're not talented. I'm sorry, my dog is getting really loud. You have no talent, you have no rhythm, you have no, like, you don't even know any good dance moves, like, whatever it may be. When those things come up, like, I think it's going to be important for you to say stuff to yourself like, well, you know, I won't know until I try. Everybody is a beginner at one point. Everybody starts off from the beginning, and not everybody is like a great dancer right away. And it's something that brings me joy, and it's something that makes me happy, and who cares if I'm not the best at it? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that I do things that bring me joy and make me happy, right? So I think that it's just going to be really important for you to like start trying to reprogram the way that your brain speaks to you, the way that your subconscious mind speaks to you. Because I get this feeling that when it comes to making certain decisions, or when it comes to like you starting new things, you're very hesitant about the things that you want to go after. And I think that it's okay if you're hesitant, because you're like trying to decide what the best path moving forward is, or what the best decision is to make, like, and you're weighing your options. That's totally fine if that's you, but I get the feeling that a lot of the time it's because you're like, well, I wouldn't be really good at this, but I guess I could try this because I wouldn't look like a fool. Like, for instance, like going back to the example about like dancing, right? Like, maybe you want to, like, something I've always wanted to do is take like a heels class, which is like the dance class where, you know, you wear heels literally the entire time in class, and you just like become very much so in touch with like your body, and you feel like sexy and empowered. And you know, maybe you're like, well, I want to do that, but like I'm afraid that I'll look stupid because I'm not that great of a dancer. So instead, maybe I'll just like take a Zumba class at home, like on YouTube or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that either, guys, but I feel like you're holding yourself back because you lack this like confidence in yourself, and you lack seeing that like I had just said, everybody is a beginner at one point. Not everybody is a perfect dancer straight out of the womb. Like, you have to, excuse me, you have to practice, and you have to like take classes, and you have to do stuff to like become better at it, right? We all look foolish when we first do something because it's the first time doing it. No one is like excellent at something the first time they do it. Like, I just really don't believe that at all. I think that some people have like better inclined gifts to be good at certain things, or maybe some people are just like more naturally athletic than others, but that doesn't mean that because they have like some raw talent that they're going to supersede you and like your work ethic and like what you put into it and the joy that you may have for it, right? Because I mean, I see that all the time. I used to dance when I was younger, and you see these girls that have like this raw talent and skill and ability, and they don't ever practice, they don't put the time into it because they just like they were automatically kind of good at one point, and they're like, well, I don't have to practice as much as other people do. And then you get to this point where people catch up with you, right? Like, you're not 5 years old anymore, you're 10, 11, 12, and people catch up with you, and they have worked really hard and like harness that skill and talent, and you can't just survive off of like talent anymore. Like, the work ethic that you're putting into it is more important. So I think that that is ultimately kind of what Spirit is trying to say to you, is like, especially with the Queen of Wands coming up, believe in yourself, have confidence in yourself, fake it till you make it if you have to a little bit, and like know that you have the ability and like the drive to get yourself where you want to go and accomplish what you want, because of like the resourcefulness card here. So don't like shrug off your dreams or the things that you really want to do just because you think you're incapable, or you'll look stupid, or you're afraid of being a beginner. It's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to not be perfect at something right away, because ultimately like work ethic is going to outshine talent 9 times out of 10. Like, it's 99% really, but like, you get what I mean. You know, you having like a passion and a work ethic and like really harnessing something and like making sure that you become good at it is going to get you farther than somebody who had like some natural like talent to begin with. Like as a kid, that was literally me. I can speak to this from my own personal experience. I was a kid that like just naturally had rhythm, that like naturally picked up steps really quickly, but I wasn't a kid that liked to practice choreography at home. So I would like start off like the star of the class when it came to like new dances, new choreography, whatever. And then, you know, there would be times where I didn't practice, and then I would look foolish because my teammates were like in sync doing their thing, and then me like beat bopping deet dotting around, like I would fall behind, and then I would have to like work harder to get caught back up. I had the talent, I had the skill, but that didn't mean that I put in as much effort as my teammates did, and sometimes it bit me in the ass. So just keep that in mind. You know, it's just important that you believe in yourself. And you know, when we fake confidence, sometimes we really are able to harness that confidence because we just are like, you know what, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying myself, I'm confident in who I am and like what I'm capable of. And I'm telling you, like, that's gonna get you guys so far. So don't count yourself out before you even start something. Don't limit yourself because you think you're incapable, or you're afraid that you're gonna look stupid, or you don't want to be a beginner. Allow yourself to be a beginner and make decisions based off of like what actually inspires you and lights you up and like what you really want to do, instead of like always just taking the safest option because you're like, well, I'm already like somewhat talented in some of these things, or I have like some base skill, so I think that that'll be my best option because I don't want to look stupid, or I don't want to fail. Because again, like this card had talked about, failure isn't a thing. You know, all you can do is grow and redirect and, you know, rise up from the quote unquote failure. So don't allow those things to hold you back. Group number 2. Let me take a drink of water and then we'll get into your oracle cards here. And there goes Luna. Hopefully she doesn't try to jump up on the table like she did last week. If you watched my video last week, she literally like jumped behind my tripod and then almost knocked that over, almost knocked the candle over. So hopefully that doesn't happen again this week. All right, let's see. What other messages or information do we have for group number 2? No, Luna, no. She doesn't listen anyway. I don't even know why I bothered telling her no. All right. Let's do one more shuffle here. Okay. So we have nothing will come of this situation, void of course moon. And then we also have step out of your comfort zone, North Node. So I think with nothing will come of this situation, I think what Spirit is trying to say is that by you holding yourself back, by you telling yourself these negative things, by you telling yourself that you're not capable of like accomplishing or doing what you want to, nothing good is going to come of that. Nothing, period, will come of that. Like all it's going to do is keep you held back, and keep you like taking the safe route all of the time, and you won't actually like grow or evolve or become who you're meant to be if you continue to hold yourself back and continue to, you know, feed into these lies that your brain is telling you that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you're not capable, because it's just not true. And then step out of your comfort zone, North Node. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. You know, it's really important for you to step out of your comfort zone, step out of your box, allow yourself to be a beginner, to try new things, to go after what you want, and do it literally, like fake it till you make it, be confident, and know that everybody's a beginner. Everybody looks foolish at one point. That doesn't mean you're a failure just because you're not perfect at something when you do it the first time. Okay, let's take a look here at our next oracle deck. What other information do we have for group number 2, Spirit? Ma'am? No. No. Go cuddle with your brother. Okay. Oh. That one really didn't fall out. It just kind of fell out of my hand there. So we have for you, blessed, and we have to the sea, which I'm not as familiar with that one, so I want to read that one from the book. But with blessed, I think that, you know, it's it's very much so just a reminder that you are blessed, you are watched, you are loved, you are cared for, and I think that it's important that we all remember, you know, and have gratitude for the things that we have, the things that we like don't have to worry about, and know too that like you are very gifted, you're very talented, you are very capable of a lot of different things, especially with the 7 of Cups coming up here. I feel like you have a lot of different talents and a lot of different abilities, and to recognize that you are blessed with that, and it's okay to like want to seek new opportunities that maybe we don't have like natural talent or gift for. It's okay to do that and like to want to grow because of that, because I do feel like you guys already have a lot of natural like gifts and talents and capabilities. So just remember, like, you are very blessed, you are loved, you are looked after, and your spiritual team really loves you and cares for you and wants you to be able to see in yourself what they see in you. And then to the sea, let's see, number 7. Okay. Being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. I'm going to pause it. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to kick Luna out because she was starting to get a little angry because I wouldn't hold her. So anyway, let's see here. Like we were reading for To the Sea, we have the Oracle's message. Isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. So I really like that message, actually. I'm just going to let that speak for itself. I'm not going to elaborate on that one more. And then let's take a look here at our last oracle deck here. Sorry, my animals are acting up at the worst time. But we'll just get through this last deck here for you guys. What final messages does your spiritual team, your spirit guides have for you? Group number 2. Sorry. Last messages for group number 2. We'll do one more shuffle. So we have authenticity. Who I truly am is good indeed. I am authentic to thought, word, and deed. And then we also have sensuality. Your freedom flowing from far away. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. I love that both of those came out for you guys. Again, like, don't take things so seriously. Don't feel like you have to be perfect at everything right away. You do not. It's okay. Allow yourself to have fun and play. I think it's funny that dance came up here too. Maybe some of you are like wanting to take a dance class or something. If you are, do it. Especially if you're like me and you've been wanting to take a heels class. I feel like this is your confirmation to do it. But like, allow yourself to flow and to just enjoy life and to grow and learn from the things that you do or the opportunities that you take, because that's what it's all about. It's okay to like not be perfect at things, to quote unquote fail at them, and to learn and do things differently. Like, that's the beauty of life. So allow yourself to embrace that. You don't have to be perfect all the time. You don't have to be a perfectionist. No one's perfect. It's better to be ourselves. It's better to be authentic and to be open and to just live as our true authentic selves. And I'm telling you, like, people will love this energy. You being confident in yourself and loving yourself and just allowing yourself to be who you really are, not holding pieces of yourself back because you're afraid of being judged or that people won't like you or whatever. Like, you're not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. It's important though that you are yourself and that you are completely open with who you are. You're open, you're authentic, you're vulnerable. That's going to bring the people that you want in this lifetime toward you anyway. They will be attracted to who you are and they will come into your life. And those who are not will fall away, and that's all right. We don't want people in our lives anyway who don't truly love and see us for who we are. So anyway, I love those last two messages. I think those are really beautiful. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you guys. I really hope that this resonated for you. If it did, leave me a comment down below. Give this video a like so that it can reach as many... Give this video a like so that it can reach as many other people as possible that may need to hear this message. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I put out new pick a card readings, sometimes tarot collective readings once a week. I love you guys so much, and I think that you are on a very beautiful journey, and I hope that you're able to see just how beautiful and amazing you are and how much your spiritual team loves you and cares for you and wants you to express yourself fully, because it's really needed in the world, I feel like. So anyway, I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you in a future reading. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Hello there, my group number 3s. As a reminder, if you chose the Modern Witch Tarot, then this is your reading this week regarding urgent messages that your spirit guides have for you. What do you need to hear right now? What do you need to know that is best going to help you? So as you can see here for your tarot cards, we have the 9 of Swords, the Page of Cups, the 7 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords. And then I do have 3 additional oracle decks that we'll get to once we've gone over these. And then when I was laying out your cards, when I was laying out your cards, I did get an additional oracle card for you here, as you can see in the center. And I was asking Spirit for like clarification, additional messages, anything that needed to come through to help kind of guide us with this reading. And you received abundance. True abundance, my love, is not just about money. True abundance is about recognizing with grace and humility what has already been sent your way. Abundant in life. Abundant in life, abundant in love, abundant in movement, abundant in the almond milk latte your coworker brought you this morning. Start to appreciate the ways in which you are already so looked after. Start to build wealth in the little things, and you will find the rest comes easy. So, I thought it was very interesting that you guys received this message, and then with the cards that you received as well. The one that stood out to me, obviously, was the first card that popped out here, which was the 9 of Swords. I feel like maybe there's been a lot of fear lately, and there's been a lot of anxiety, and I feel like this is true on a collective level with what's going on financially in the United States right now, and with how much people are struggling just to make ends meet, and I really feel for you. If you are in this situation, I'm so sorry. I truly, truly, truly hope that things do not get a lot worse for people. I think that it's terrible that our homeless population is already so high, and we have people that are literally one, extra expenditure away from going completely broke and being unable to pay their rent or pay their mortgage or whatever. It's terrible, it's awful, and I think that it's awful that in one of the like wealthiest timelines that we could be in, especially in this country, that so many people are left with nothing, are left to struggle. And I could go on a rant about that all freaking day, so I'm not going to preoccupy your time doing that. But if that's you, I just want you to know that I really truly feel for you guys, and I know what that's like, and I know the mental toll that that can take on you. I think that what Spirit is trying to say here, though, for you guys is to not just deal with these worries and anxieties yourself, and to not mask them when you're around other people. Like, with the Seven of Swords coming up here, I'm getting this energy of, like, when people ask you how you're doing, you just automatically are like, I'm okay, I'm fine, everything's okay. And it's not. And it's okay for things not to be okay, group number 3. It really, really is. We all go through these periods of struggle, of difficulty, and these anxious periods where it's like, we're being kept up at night because our mind is going a million miles an hour, and we just are filled with anxiety about so many different things. And there's so much to be anxious about, like with what's going on in the world right now, all around the world, and especially here in the US. Like, I completely understand. And so I just wanted to say that because I don't want you to ever feel like I'm belittling your experience, because I know that I'm a very privileged person, and sometimes my perspective really does come from this place of privilege, and I have to check myself and understand, and like, I do understand that people are not as fortunate as I am, and like the life that I've been able to live. And sometimes I have to check myself in thinking that, we can all just work our way out of these situations, because I know that that's not always the case. And I know that there are a lot of barriers and like things that kind of get in our way that can definitely like prolong this issue for us or make things worse or whatever it is, and I just want you to know that I really truly see you guys. I feel that, and I know that this is something that is really going on a collective level right now, because there are a lot of people struggling. But yeah, I think that ultimately, Spirit is asking you to be more open with those around you, with what's going on, and to not just bottle it all up mentally for yourself to deal with. Because, 3 out of your 4 cards here are swords cards, which have to do with our thoughts and our mental energy. And I think that you've been putting on a show for a while and expending a lot of mental energy towards these worries and anxieties. And this may not even be about money for you. There are so many different things going on that can make us have this anxiousness. And I think that unfortunately it's just kind of like what our society wants to feed us also right now, and like what's all over the news and what we're seeing every day. And it can be very, very, very mentally taxing. I think that honestly, something that Spirit is bringing up here as well with the 6 of Swords is that maybe for the time being, it would be helpful for you to take a little detox from social media. I know that I'm somebody in particular that can fall down like TikTok rabbit holes and be doom scrolling for hours, and it just makes me more anxious. And I'm not saying to like not care about what's going on in the world, because I don't think that that is helpful at all. But I think that it may be helpful for you to maybe limit your time on social media, or, maybe even like try to reset your algorithm if you're on TikTok or something, to where maybe you're seeing like happier videos about, like, I don't know, animals. Those are always my happy videos, about cats and dogs that, like, make me smile, give me a little pep in my step during the day, you know, instead of seeing all of the terribleness that is the world sometimes. And I feel like that may be very helpful for you. I also feel like with the Page of Cups coming up here, I think that this is Spirit's way of telling you as well to know that, like, this is a period that sucks right now and it's hard, and Spirit acknowledges that, but at the same time, like, this will not last forever. This will pass eventually, and you will, you know, ride the wave up again instead of being, like, in the depths, in the valley of it all, if that makes sense. I think that this is also kind of pointing to maybe, like, doing more creative, like, things and having more creative outlets for yourself. Maybe instead of, like, spending so much time on social media, you could, like, spend time, like, with a creative hobby. Maybe you like to paint, maybe you like to draw, maybe you like to create resin pours, like, whatever it is for you, to give yourself an outlet where you're able to kind of work through your thoughts and not be consumed with, like, more and more negative, like, feeds and media and whatever it is. Again, I'm not saying we can, like, completely ignore these things, but sometimes it is okay to take some time for ourselves and detox and, like, step away from it for a minute. Like, it's okay to put your phone down and or to limit, like, the time that you allow yourself to spend on social media every day. Try to, like, see more, like, happy, positive things that will, like, get you in a better mindset, because when we're already anxious and we already have a lot going on mentally, the doom scrolling really doesn't help. And I'm saying that from experience. So I think that that is just kind of something that Spirit is pointing out, as well as, like, I feel like we become so detached from reality and, like, what's going on around us when all we do is, like, scroll on social media all day, that it may be, like, good for you to get out. And, you know, we have 2 bodies of water here. Maybe it'd be good for you to get out and, like, be by a body of water and spend some time outside and spend time with people that fill up your cup, right? Because, like this card is saying here, abundance isn't just all about wealth. It's about being abundant in love, in movement, in life, being abundant in the small things, the day-to-day things, and that's what, like, will help us get by. So it may be, like, really helpful for you to spend time with people that lift up your energy, lift up your spirits, and where you're, like, not, you know, constantly engaged in social media all day. I, for one, love the days when I charge my phone, I take it off the charger, and I barely use my phone throughout the day, because I'm, like, engaging with people that I love and care for and spending time outdoors. And I feel like that's such a great way for us to refresh, recharge, and help us get out of our head so much, because I feel like that's what you're needing to do. My group number 3s is get out of your head, and allow yourself to ground into nature more and into, like, the present moment and just being here, because at the end of the day, we don't have any control over the future. We don't have any control over the past. All we can do is enjoy the moment that we have now. The future is not guaranteed, and the past is a memory, and all we can do is be present in the moment now. And I really think that that presence and, like, not allowing ourselves to be, like, glued to a phone all day, or, you know, glued to the TV all day, or whatever it is really good for us. So, you know, I think that that will also kind of help you with, like, gratitude and, you know, just being able to be more present and, like, see the abundance and the beauty that is your life, okay? But again, I just want to reiterate to you guys, group number 3, I am not trying to belittle your experience. I don't know, like, what you're going through. I don't know what it's like to walk in your shoes, and I never want you to feel like I'm trying to tell you that, like, your problems are insignificant, because they're not, okay? Let me take a drink of water here. I think that that's all that I really want to touch on with your tarot. And then we'll get into the oracle cards here. Okay, my loves, let's see here. Oops. Just want to check something real quick. I was like, is my camera recording? because I was like, have I been talking to myself for the past like 15 minutes? I don't know. All right. So let's see if we can get any additional insight, information from Spirit about messages that you need to hear right now. Go ahead and shuffle once more, and then I'll just cut. Okay. Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. And then we also have nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. So I think that with the meditate and contemplate coming up here, again, I think that this is Spirit's way of saying, like, take some time for yourself, allow yourself to spend some time in nature, be present, because that's what meditation is really all about, is us being present in the moment, right? And not allowing our brain to take us off into like potential future problems or issues from the past, and allow ourselves to really be present in the now. And you know, it's okay for you to be in your head and for you to be a little anxious right now with everything going on, but I think it'll be really important for you to take that time to be present, which will then allow you to kind of clear up some of the jumbling that's going on in your mind. I feel like, again, like I said, there is just so much going on in the world. There's so much to make us anxious or depressed or whatever about, have like existential crises about. So it may be really helpful for you to take the time and space that you need, even away from social media, to think more about, you know, why am I having these thoughts? Like, where are these issues coming from? Will it be like healthy for me to do this long term, to take this break from social media? What's best for me and my mental health, and what do I need right now? Really asking yourself, like, what do you need so that you're able to get through in this current cycle and situation that you're in, okay? And then with nothing is yet set in stone, I think that this is a reminder again from Spirit that this is not something that's going to last forever. This is not something that is going to be like a cycle that we continually go through forever. This is not a problem that we're going to have forever. It sucks that it's a problem right now. It sucks that it's taking up so much of our mental space, but know that this is not like a definitive, it's not set in stone. It's not something that we're going to have to deal with for the rest of our life, right? And I think that that's just something like so important to realize and like putting into perspective. It's kind of like, you know, when you were younger and you were like in school, like you were in middle school or high school, and you had your first breakup and you felt like it was the end of the world. And to be fair, for you at that point, like it was the end of the world and it sucked. But now, like, you have gotten perspective on that situation, and it's something that probably you don't even think about at all anymore, where it consumed all of your thoughts and your feelings at the time. And so I think it's just like important to gain perspective and know that while the problems at present are awful and they suck and they're hard and they make our lives difficult, that doesn't mean that this is like what our life is always going to be like, okay? So let's take a look here at this next deck. Let's see what other information we can get, any additional messages. Let's go ahead and shuffle one more time. All right, we have poised. And then we also have no place like home. Okay, with poised coming up, you guys, I think that, again, this is like Spirit's way of reminding you that when we actually allow ourselves to live in the moment and we detach from, or we, limit our time with social media or whatever it is, that we are really able to appreciate the small things more, appreciate the moment more, appreciate the people we have in our lives that bring us joy more. And it allows us to see just how blessed we really, really are. And like, even though we may not have abundance monetarily, we have abundance in love, we have abundance in, joy, and we have abundance in life, right? And I think that it's just really important for us to be able to take that time to remember those things and connect with what makes us human. And really, I think that overall, like, as a society, we're very disconnected from our own humanity, and how important it is for us to step outside and be in nature and allow ourselves to reconnect with this planet and reconnect with the fact that we are just animals with highly functioning brains, and we still need to be nourished by this planet, and we still need to be nourished by the small things around us, because that's what keeps us going ultimately. But, this is really just a reminder that you are blessed, you are loved, you are looked after, and that, there's so much beauty yet to be unfolded in your life. So don't give up on it, and don't give up on yourself at this time, okay? And then no place like home. So interesting that this is coming up. Maybe for some of you too, this has to do with, maybe you currently have like a bad living situation. I mean, myself, like personally, I've talked about it, I think, in like all the videos that I've made, but I don't love my apartment complex. I don't love it. And I think every day about getting out of here and like finding a different place to call home. And maybe you're at a point where you are feeling the same way too, where even your own space doesn't necessarily feel like home. And if you're not in a place where you're able to leave that situation, maybe doing certain things to like make it feel more homey, make it feel more like you, make it feel more comfortable, so that you have a space to go to and decompress. Like, I think that's so important too, that we have like our own space to go to where we feel safe, where we feel comfortable, where we're able to like really truly be ourselves, and we're able to spend the time we need alone to recharge, especially if you're like me and you're like an introvert. So, yeah, I feel like that there's a lot of different reasons why this could be coming up. But yeah, I think that ultimately, we also have to create this home within ourselves too. Like, we have to make ourselves feel like home. And it's hard to do that when we're so mentally consumed and there's so much going on around us that we really do forget to return to that comfortability, that safe space. And even like, I feel like this can also be like a call from Earth, from Mother Gaia, to like return back home and to spend more time outside with her, and to appreciate like how much the earth gives to us, because the earth gives so much to us and all we do is take. So yeah, I think that there are a lot of different reasons why that could be coming up for you guys, but you'll know best how that like resonates in your situation. So we have one more deck to take a look at here for you guys. So any final messages that Spirit has for group number 3? Any final messages from their spiritual team? Anything that you really want group number 3 to know, Spirit? Ooh, confidence, love it. We got like 5 cards that popped out with confidence, so let me see if we can just get one more. One more card would be the most ideal. Ooh. Okay, well, we got 2, so Spirit does what it wants. Okay, you got confidence, you got energy, and you got trust. Okay, so with confidence coming out here, I think that Spirit is also saying that for some of you, you may really feel down about yourself. The Nine of Swords can literally be how you're feeling internally about yourself. Maybe you don't have a lot of like belief or confidence in your ability to get out of your current situation or to accomplish what it is you're wanting to. But you really need to have confidence in yourself as well as the universe, especially with trust coming up here. You know, have confidence in yourself that things will turn around. Like, really, I think it's important that we give ourselves credit for getting through all of the difficult seasons in our life, because I'm sure this is not the first time that you've been having a difficult time, right? And I think that it's important that we remember we think about to ourselves and remind ourselves that we've gotten through all of those other hardships and we've come out better for it. And even if you don't like to think of it along those lines, like, you have come out the other side of every single hardship that you have had. So why would this time be any different? Group number 3, like, why would this be any different? Why would you not be able to come out on the other side of this one when you've done it in every single other instance that it's come up in your life and you are still here and you're still standing? Like, we have to have this confidence and this trust in ourselves and in like our spirit guides and in the universe that things will work out for us eventually. Like, things will get better eventually, right? They won't always be like this. And I think with energy coming up here too, it's a reminder from Spirit that it's important for you to protect your energy at this time. So again, like, not allowing our energy to be drained away by doom scrolling on social media, not allowing our energy to be drained away by people that like want to use and abuse us because we're giving and loving with our time and energy. Really making sure that we're spending the proper amount of time with the proper people, allowing ourselves to recharge in nature, and then making sure that, again, we have a safe space to go to where we can be alone, where we can be introspective, where we can get away from, you know, the energies of everybody else and just focus on us and take care of us and make sure that we're recharged in the way that we need to be. So believe in yourself, my group number 3s. I know that times are tough right now, but the one thing that I can guarantee you is the only thing in life that we are guaranteed is change. And this too will change. Things will get better. And I know it may seem very bleak right now and it may seem like they won't, but there are things that, you know, you can do to help yourself through the mental anxiety and anguish of it all, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and leave your reading here, group number 3. I really enjoyed this one because I think that this is probably the most relatable thing for everybody right now. And I hope that this resonated for you. If it did, leave me a comment down below. Give this video a like so that it can reach as many other people as possible that may need to hear this message right now. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I put out new pick a card readings. Sometimes I do tarot collective readings once a week. I love you guys so much. I'm hoping all the best for you. And I really think that this is unfortunately just a bad season. And I really hope that things turn around for you soon, my group number 3s. I love you. Thanks for joining me. And I hope to see you in a future reading. Bye.